Good afternoon, everyone. Tractor Man 44 here. There's an old guy named, well, he's not an old guy. He's a fairly young fella. Young by my standards anyway. His name is John from Louisiana Aquaponics. John done went and called me out. Kind of like on the old westerns, you know, whenever you're standing in the saloon and somebody bumps into each other and they call you out on the street at 12 o'clock sharp. Well, he done called me out. Called me out for a tractor comparison. He wants me to show you my oldest and my favorite tractor, you know, and my daily driver, so to speak. So I'm going to show y'all. Now you got to remember, John, you did not clarify that your oldest tractor needed to be a running tractor, because my oldest tractor is not a running tractor. So let's take a look. Okay, John, well, here's definitely my oldest one, and like I said, it's a non-runner. Doesn't mean it won't run. It probably won't run by my hand because I ain't got time to work on it. But anyway, this is a Fordson. I don't know what year this is, never ran the numbers on it, but it's pretty old. You know, I don't remember when they started making these. I want to say 1918, and I don't know that this particular one here is the one of the older ones or one of the newer ones. They ran them for a number of years. People that are really into the Fordsons could probably look at the parts and pieces that are on it and kind of give you a rough idea. But I honestly do not know what year this is. I don't even know where the numbers are to run it. I don't even know where the numbers are located. Now it's missing a few things, you know, like obviously a seat, but that's easy. It's got a broken shifting lever, you know. The steering wheel's got a little crack in it, you know, so it might need a little bit of work in order to get her running. Hey, but you know what? The wheels are in really pretty good shape. There's not a, well, the back tires are in pretty good shape. Front tires got a couple of flats on them though. I think it's going to take more than an afternoon of tinkering to make this old boy run. Well, as a matter of fact, it'd have a little trouble holding some gas in the gas tank. But you know what? It is what it is, man. And this is my oldest tractor. And behind this old dog, a set of 212s, two bottom pull type plows, which are international Little Genius plows. International Little Genius plows are very, very sought after, usually by the collectors, because they pull so easily. But one of the things that makes them sought after is they operate like a trailer. They're very easy to back up because you don't have that third wheel in the back end to flip around and get all crazy on you. So at any rate, we're done with the oldest. Now we move on to my favorite. You know, my name is Tractor Man 44, and there's a reason for that. That's because you see that 44 up here in the top left, you know, right there by the radiator. This Massey Harris 44. It's 260 cubic inch, 4-cylinder Continental overhead valve engine. And it's pretty much the staple or the workhorse of the Massey Harris line back in the late 40s through the mid 50s, whenever they bought Harry Ferguson and became the Massey Ferguson Corporation. But they sold thousands and thousands of this particular tractor here, and they were in direct competition with the Farmall M. The Farmall M, I don't remember the exact displacement, but it had a higher RPM'd engine, and a lot of the farmers that had the Farmall M's just hated these old 44s because these 44s had a really long stroke and an incredible lugging power. Though the M had a higher RPM, you know, they would kind of spin out and things like that, whereas these old dogs that just lug right on down, you wouldn't have to grab another gear, and you could just keep on going. Now I've taken this particular one here and put the cast rear hubs on it, which gives us a lot of weight. Then I've added another set of cast hubs by means of 3/4 inch all thread, and then inside there I put a set of Oliver wheel weights. So I've got a tremendous amount of weight on the back end of this tractor. Plus these tires are fluid filled. They've got I don't know how many gallons it is, but right up here to about the 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock position on each tire is full of fluid. Now these old tractors came standard with a cultivator lift. Cultivator lift meaning it's just the hydraulic cylinder underneath the seat that operated these apparatus here that attach to your cultivators and things like that. And there's other implements too, corn pickers and things, you know. It was not a standard 3-point setup. They did fashion a semblance of a 3-point over the years, and they work halfway decent, but they're not like the regular Ferguson system. But at any rate, this old tractor here, well, looks like a little bird decided that this was her favorite tractor too. She's built her a nest under there. I've had this covered up, you know, because obviously it's not in use right now. Yeah, they made these in high arch front end. They made them in a Wheatland style. They made them in a standard wide front end with a lower profile, and of course the tricycle, which is what the row crop farmers really liked. and it had your standard zenith carburetor on it. And this here happens to be a propane or LP manifold. Regular gas manifold is shaped entirely different than this. And of course the individual rear brakes, and hey, and also a mud dauber's nest. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's standard equipment. But at any rate, this one here I haven't had running in probably about 3 years. And one of these days, as soon as the weather breaks a little bit, this little video is kind of sparked the interest to get a fresh battery in it, clean carburetor, and see if I can make this old dog get back on the road again. Now that big old heavy Continental engine up here on the front, that big old monstrous block, that is a chunk of iron. That thing makes these without power steering very, very difficult to turn. I come across a power steering pump off of another old derelict I got down in the woods, so I went ahead and converted that one time years and years ago, I guess 20 years ago or so, probably more than that. Put that on here, just went ahead and piped copper tubing in, and right up here underneath the seat, back going to the control valve, and I'm just powering that power steering pump off of that, which works really, really, really nice. It really makes it easy for you to turn with this heavy front end. Cool thing about this thing too, here I just pulled the gas cap out of the gas tank. When this thing works, there's a chunk of caulk down here at the bottom. It sets all the way down about 1 inch off of the bottom, and of course that caulk allows this gauge right here to flow up and down, and it tell you how full or empty your tank is. That was pretty cool. You don't see those on too many tractors. Of course, this one here, the caulk is gone and caulk is worn out or missing. So one of these days, I guess I'll try to refurbish that and make that function again. Now, my daily user just this summer has become this Kubota B3030. I think they call it obviously a 30 horsepower. It's got a loader on it, of course. Got a few accessories to come along with it too, but this is essentially my newest acquisition. It's become my daily use tractor simply because the old one that I'd had for years and years and years was a B2400 that I sent down to my son's house. He lives about a mile below me here. He needs it a little bit more than I do. He's just getting started, you know, with a wood pile and with work around his property. So I thought he could put it to better use than me leaving it set up here and rest for a while. So the B3030, don't have a whole lot to say about it. It's just a real good tractor. I bought it from the estate from a buddy of mine that passed away this year, or this past summer. It's really a really good tractor. So it's going to do me for a while. And in the background, if you want to sneak a peek over there, amid all the other stuff, is a 1941 Massey Harris 101 Super. That has a 1957 Chrysler automobile engine in it that my dad and my uncle put in back whenever I was a kid. The Chrysler Industrial that was in it, you know, they tore it up, blew it out years and years and years ago. Okay, John, I done told you I was going to be disqualified because I'm going to have more than 3 entries. But at any rate, anybody lives out in the country like I do and does the things that I do, you know, it's always going to have a backhoe. This one here, I don't know that it's my favorite one. It's one I use here at home because my real good one is down at my daughter's house. If I get this thing uncovered, I'm going to get the tripod for the camera, and if that battery's got any juice in it, I'm going to fire this puppy up. This is a 201 cubic inch 3-cylinder diesel that's punched out 40 thousandths over. It is a good running, strong running hoe, and by golly, it does a heck of a job, and I really do like it. Okay, I've checked oil, checked the fuel. I got a little bit of both. I haven't even put the key in the ignition yet, so we're going to find out if the battery's up. I have a 3-wire alternator on there, and I've got a diode on the dash that indicates whenever the alternator starts the output. So I had to let it warm up for just a second or two, or a few minutes, and then revved it up in order to get the alternator to start charging. So at any rate, it's charging, and I'm going to let it warm up for a little bit. I'm going to work the hoe and then set the bucket just a little bit different because it's filling up with water. So I'm going to dump that out, set that hoe just a little different. The old thing fired up. I had my doubts there at first, but the battery's held up. I guess I need to put a battery tender on it now. Well, anyway, John and the rest of you guys, that's pretty surprising having the old backhoe fire up, you know, quite as easy as it did. Of course, it's kind of mild today. It's about 38 degrees or so, you know. So I really figured it would probably go as long as there's a little juice in the battery. But that thing, you know, it's got a fresh rebuild. I don't have 50 hours on that engine. Leaking a little bit of oil, so if you get up close, it looks a little worse than what it is. But that's a good, strong running hoe. I'm going to be passing on down the highway here before too long. That's my favorite backhoe here on the property. Let's put it that way. But for you to get all my favorites, we'd have to have about 15 more categories to get all my favorites. I hope that satisfied your curiosity. You got my oldest one, you got my daily use, you got my favorite one, which is the Massey Harris 44, and of course my favorite backhoe at home, the old 4500 Ford. So I ain't got much else to say. This Trackman 44, I gotta go shut that hoe off, man. Doggone it, John, I'm working on extreme disqualification, ain't I? I was walking up to the house, got the video done. I'm getting ready to put it on, you know, edit it out and put it on YouTube. And I walked by this one here, up by the new shed, and I thought, I'll just tease y'all. I am not going to show you anything more about this, other than this little bit of a tease. And a lot of you guys that know anything about tractors knows exactly what it is and how hard they are to come by. But at any rate, that's all you get. Doggone you, John. Anyway. Oh, hey, and right behind it is setting another old 44. That one there, man, I used the fire out of that cotton picker. I ain't been running for 3 or 4 years. You know, I've just been busy with other stuff. This is it. I'm done now for sure. I'm not going to put any more out there. Well, John, believe me, you don't know how difficult a task this was. Seems simple, but doggone it, I like tractors. I think I watched that movie Cars one time, you know, with the kids back years ago when it came out. There's an old tractor in there, you know, and I don't remember what his name is, nothing, but they'd scare him a little bit, and he would kind of let out a funny noise and stand up on his back end. And I think that dump truck, or that record truck, he'd say, "Tractors is so dumb." But at any rate, that was my favorite line, you know. I don't even know why I brought that up, but tractors ain't dumb, you know. It's just some of the operators might be, myself included. But at any rate, man, I like all these tractors, man. I like them all. I've got favorite ones for different tasks. Man, I've got snow removal tractors. I got, you know, tractors for the sawmill. I got tractors for the buzz saw. I got tractors for splitting wood. Hot dang it, man. You know, a fella can't have enough of them. They ain't like women. You get more than one woman. Hot dang, man, you got your hands full and you got way too much, you know. The tractors ain't that way. Hot dang, they might be the downfall of the red-blooded American male. But fella just can't have too many of them. I don't care for new tractors, old tractors, or old new tractors, or new old tractors. Don't matter. Any combination of them, any color, it don't matter. I like them smooth running 4 cylinders and 6 cylinders. These old Massey Harrises and the Olivers and all that stuff, you know. They just sound like a real tractor. They don't sound like it, like they're missing something, you know. John, thank you for including me in the call out. I don't know that it's 12 noon, but I drew my gun and fired the shot. But anyway, it ain't nothing like that, you know. It's just fun. I enjoyed it. Had a good time. Yeah, but I could have kept on going, but I didn't want y'all to get aggravated at me. This is Tractorman 44, and I am out of here.